Alright, so I'm just going to demonstrate what it looks like with your front door once your dog is all trained up and has that nice threshold control. I didn't ask him to stay or anything, just to demonstrate. He just is waiting. He's like, what do you want me to do? I'll just look at you instead of the door. Next we're going to head to the back door, which I'm less restrictive around. So I'll actually put him into a stay there because he'll want to actually just go through the door. And this is just to my enclosed yard. I just back him up a little bit. See how I walk towards him? Just move towards him a bit. Into the sit. Stay. Open the door nice and wide. If he was to move forward towards it, I'd just close it quickly. Not trying to catch him in it. Next we move over to Bella. She's a little less trained than him, but she gets the fundamentals of the body block. So when I open it, if she starts to move, you see how my hand goes up, I'm like, hey. Now, since she's looking at me a lot, I'm not even going to block the doorway. I'm just going to stand to the side and let her go. If she was more like squirmy, I would have blocked the doorway, walked towards her, moved her back before I opened it. Now this is the back enclosed yard, so I would encourage you to get them to sit when they come in too, and before they go out, and stay. They're not running through the door at all. They're waiting for my cue to go through. Just because your dog sits is not adequate.
Let's go.
This is the front door out to the street. I'd encourage you to put your dog on a long leash here, so if they break and run through, they're not going to run away. You just step on the leash and you bring them back in the house. She's not going to go anywhere even if she went outside to the front yard. So she just broke position there. I was just like, hey, or no.
No.
Right there, see my hand? I use my voice. Don't touch her. If I had to, I could just like grab her, not to do anything, but just so she didn't run through. And then I'd move towards her like that to get her away.
That's good. Yeah.
So today I'm gonna mention about bolting. Now, you were able to watch a few videos before this to demonstrate what it looks like after a dog has been taught not to run through doorways. A dog who is kind of in training, who is the second dog, the Mastiff looking one. She's kind of in the middle of the process. I just didn't have a beginner dog to do on short notice to work with. So anyways, needless to say, if you've been participating through the program, I think it's week 2, there is some video content about body blocking where you move towards the dog to get them to move the opposite way. Basically, it's when you're outside and you call your dog to come. If they don't come, like you have to go outside, put your shoes on, and basically guide them inside, but not by pulling them, by being behind them, pointing, and just restricting where they can go other than the way that you want them to go. So this same premise, basically we're just further building on it within being inside your home. And it works amazingly around doorways. So this really, I mean, one of the biggest reasons people want a good recall is because their dog runs through their door and bolts away and they want to be able to call them back. Well, that would be good too if just by chance your child let your dog out of the door, or a family member and the dog wandered around and you called them to come back. That's great. But a big piece of it is just teaching the dog not to run through the door at all. Because you could save yourself, anywhere from 50 to 95% of the incidences where they have the ability to run out the door and not come when called because you can't follow through with it. If you just have this routine around doorways where you get the dogs to sit before they come in, you get the dogs to sit and stay before they go out, and there's just basically, and you've seen from the videos where I won't let the dogs break position until they actually look up at me, and they're basically just making eye contact with me, and I'm like, yeah, that gets you outside. Okay, and then I gesture with my hand like, go ahead, get out there. And then they go and do their thing. And it's super easy, and there's no incidences of the dogs running away, and you save a lot of headache. So I would definitely encourage you all to implement this in your daily routines of just being more restrictive around the doorways where the dogs just don't run through. Now, with saying this, like lots of times I'll let my dogs go out the side door, less restricted than I would the front. But I always maintain it by making sure they still listen to me whenever I do ask them to. So maybe, 1 out of 3 times I'll get them both to sit stay before they can go through the doorway, even on the side door to the enclosed yard. Whereas I do it 100% of the time with the front door. And then they just get accustomed that this is just what we do, and they don't even try. Like that border collie that you saw at the start, he bolted out of the house a couple of times. Once was with me, and then another time when my son opened the door. And I literally had to run across the neighborhood to catch him. And it was not fun. And I was scared, and it was dangerous for him because he could have got hit by some traffic. So I did the work to make sure that he's just like, oh, I'm not even going to go outside. So now he's safe. If my son opens the door, it's not a big deal. He'll just stay put, and he'll be like, oh, I just got to wait for someone to let me go. But plus, I taught him how to come when called, where he didn't know that before, when he actually ran out through the door and just was investigating the neighborhood. So these things go hand in hand. Restricting the dog's ability to just barge through a door, and then actually teaching them to come when called. You need them both to address the bolting issue. So I hope that was helpful. And just take it from there and continue to just implement this every day. It's really only a few moments of investment of time.